Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World Theatre Festival podcast. It's our latest episode, and you've got myself, Robbie, you've got Craig.
Hello.
And our special guest today is Mr. Luke Seddon.
Hello.
So, Luke has been one of my friends for a few years, and then have you two met at one of the company gatherings?
And we met at a Christmas party.
Christmas party. So we're all... It's what I love about the world. There's not many degrees of separation between people. So.
We both were wearing leather jackets. I knew then that we'd get along.
We were? Oh my word, I forgot that.
Mine was fake, to be fair. Yeah.
I think mine was, I got it from a Facebook ad. So I think mine was probably fake.
I got mine from an ex-girlfriend, so it's cool. We're all in the same boat here.
In the festival, I remember, I think, Luke, you just like, yeah, I'll be a part of it.
Yes,
And
yeah.
That's one of the things I love about Luke. He's just a yes man. Not in a negative way, but just like, I just want to be a part. However, you think, I can fit into it. So I'm like, right, what can we do? And I was like, we haven't got enough directors. Luke, do you want to direct? And he said...
Yeah, sure.
And I said, Luke, we might not have enough actors. Do you want to be in it as well? And he said...
Yeah, sure, all right.
This is basically how everyone gets on with Luke really, really well. You just have to hope he doesn't get and send you that test where he goes, oh...
Rob, you're never going to guess what's happened.
And then he realises he's double booked. But we know in summer no one has any work, so we're all good. We should all be free for this. So you are going to be directing Spooky Tales.
I am.
Which is our play that has the Wirral Theatre Festival competition writer entry winner in it. Gosh, that was a very
That was a mouthful.
It was
really well done.
The Wirral Theatre Festival writing competition winner, that's Clara,
Yeah.
I think, who is on another episode of our podcast. So we've kind of got most of the script there, and you've got your cast together.
Yes, yeah, no.
We're just finishing off the ending of it.
Yeah.
And the way it's going to run is it's going to be 3 stories told around either a campfire or some kind of incendiary object. And these 3 juvenile children are basically trying to scare each other. A bit like, if any of the listeners know Are You Afraid of the Dark from the 90s, which was a really cool, spooky show. Or for more recent ones, I think, is it Midnight... Book
Goosebumps
Club?
or something.
Goosebumps, yeah.
I was thinking Midnight Book Club because there's something they'd recognise off like Netflix at the moment. Have you seen it?
I have not
I've seen it advertised.
It's really good. If you've seen Midnight Mass,
which I also have not seen.
Okay.
Sounds like something you do when you join a cult or a church.
Craig hasn't done his homework for this podcast. But do you know what? They're really good. Mike Hanlon's really good horror writer of the kind of modern genre. But yeah, that is very similar to kind of like the Goosebumpsy style, but it's a little bit more grown up. It wouldn't be for the younger audiences. So you've got your cast, haven't you?
Yes.
And how's it all going?
Yeah, no, do you know what? It's going really, really well. We've so we started off the rehearsal process by kind of, because obviously these are kids around a campfire playing, like essentially playing scary games in the style of stories. So it is like, I don't know if anyone listening back home used to do this, but trying to, who can scare your friends the most? Who can tell the scariest story?
To the face.
Yeah, you know, turn the lights off. And
Sheet over your head.
It was a dark and stormy night.
and all through the skies. And yeah, so that's essentially what we're trying to get into the mindset of. So the first couple of rehearsals were mostly just play. So I brought in a bunch of, well, essentially just toys, really, and was like, right, we're going to begin with, we're not going to work the script, we're not going to work the stories, we're just going to play with these toys, and we're going to come up with stories.
And used to storytelling, essentially.
Yeah, and tell them to each other, so then we can also keep the energy nice and high. That's the main thing that I've been trying to do, just keep it as a playful game. And it is really fun.
I think then the fun really kind of will start when it starts to get down to what the nitty gritty, like kind of starting to finalise things and do the blocking and then decide like when we figure out what the limitations of the theatre space are going to be. Like we know the size, but we haven't had our proper tech talk with them yet, have we? Like they kind of know some ideas.
No. That's to be honest, I'd say that's one of my favourite parts because it's like when you first start directing. Yeah, but it's like when you first start directing or rehearsing, it's like blue sky thinking, what if Steven Spielberg gave you a check?
Dream big. I've always said dream big. We'll pare it down if we have to.
Yes. So you start with the big picture with the Steven Spielberg. You can get, whatever it is that you want. And then from there, you slowly start to walk it back to what do we need? What can we not exist without? Yes. So it's I'd say at this point in time, it is getting to that really fun stage where we're starting to get it on its feet. It's starting to kind of take form, And I'm really, really excited to show it to everyone.
Well, I'm excited because I haven't seen a play in this kind of style for many, many years since I was younger, where it's a story within a story, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we've kind of got to go from the children being around the campfire, starting off this story, to somehow merging into this other world that story inhabits, and then somehow coming back to it. Like in film, that's fairly easy to do, isn't it? You could just cut back to modern day or to wherever the story's set.
Yeah.
But it's on stage, it's finally like, what's going to be our gimmick? What's our way or your way?
Yeah.
To get those differences of, okay, we're not who we are right now, we're now the character we've just told you about.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I won't give any spoilers because, if you want to know how the play goes, you are going to have to get tickets and come and see it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. It's a marketing tactic, isn't it? But it is true, because you're probably like me. Like, I'd give all the best spoilers away. You won't need to come and see it.
Yeah. If you let me speak as much as I want to on the play, I'd probably just end up reading the script.
Sadly, you only get 60 minutes.
I know. But no, so it's I'm not going to spoil what we've kind of come up with for the transitional scenes, but hopefully, and I'm feeling confident on it, that we've managed to, I suppose, encompass the themes and keep to a believable, terrifying story.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other thing we've got to obviously be aware of, is the audience age. Because I don't really think it's kind of teenagers, but it's not little kids either. It's kind of that middle age range where it could spook them. I think the way I thought about it is I'd love them to go home with a little tingle or a shiver down the spine, but not have nightmares, but be like, oh.
Yeah, you want them to go home and be like, oh, I really enjoyed that. Where's the torch and where's the pillowcase?
I'm not scared, but
so I can tell my own when my friends got.
Yeah. And I suppose, that's what we're hoping, to spook, but also inspire creativity and things.
And I think one of the key messages, these 3 children on this campfire have left their phones at home.
Yes.
On purpose, because that's scary.
Yeah. And so it is about the heightening circumstance that you can truly sort of disconnect and just spend time with the people that you care about, trying to scare each other.
I think it's harking back to the things that we all did as kids, because phones were still very, very basic. So telling stories, having adventures, scaring people. I remember that just being the norm, but I think we're losing it a bit more because everyone's got to work a bit harder, everyone's got to do a bit more of this, a bit more of that, and we're kind of losing the playful edge just because it's almost like time's getting taken away from us.
Also, when you go to a sleepover with your friends, you'd always get a horror movie.
Yeah.
And you'd always watch
or
something.
You probably something.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be watching this, but we're totally gonna watch it.
You do go inside a pillowcase and see who can hold their breath the longest, or so. You'd all play stupid things, especially if it was a boys' sleepover.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. Lock in the bathroom with the mirror, because we always read stories about darkened mirrors being gateways to the spirit realm.
Or say someone's name 3 times.
Yeah.
To appear behind you, but
Candyman style.
Even though you don't necessarily believe it, you still don't want to do it.
Yeah, well, so many times you say Candyman, and I don't know anybody
3 or
that
5,
did it
isn't
the maximum times to get him to
Yeah.
be summoned. For me, it was I think when I was about 9 or 10, I started having sleepovers. It was Scream, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think that was my ones from when I was a kid.
I think my horrors were still cartoons at that point.
Oh no, I saw a really.
I had an older brother, so.
I'll be honest. It's not for any children that doesn't think Hellraiser is my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I love it. Because it's the most far-fetched horror, and they've made about 8 or 9 of them, and they don't get any better, but I've watched all of them. It's just everyone's got that one film, I don't know whether to share this as a film or not, because I'm embarrassed, but I love it. That's my one. And I used to have a habit of, do you remember VHS tapes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a whoop at home if you know what a VHS tape is. I mainly love the fact that I can see what adverts look like from the 90s, and I tell you, they're better than some of the adverts.
Yeah.
They were so creative. But
McDonald's was so colourful.
I used to have a thing about...
And also a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I used to have a thing about recording any random horror movie that was on after midnight. And we had one of those video players, we were quite posh, where you could key in the code from the Radio Times.
Ooh.
And it would auto-record
Yeah.
that section of TV. And I saw so many random, I'm not even going to say B-list, probably G-list horror films... Just because I was curious as to that, I don't know what it is. It's got 3 stars. It sounds interesting. I'm just going to record that and watch that. and I watched some very random horror films. Can't remember any of the names.
Back in the day when you used to watch whatever the TV Times told you you'd watch.
Well, you had to, because if you missed it, there was no catch-up, was there?
It was gone.
It'd be on again next year.
The first thing that I saw that was scary was my parents. I remember it vividly. They went out. We never had like time when my parents went out. My nan came round to babysit me, and on a black and white telly where you had to like turn the dial for contrast, I watched Aliens 2. And I was about 3 years old, and I was always going to be a messed up kid after that.
You turned out quite well.
Well, you know, I keep it together when I'm outside.
Just make sure the skies are clear so you can see the spaceships when they come to get you.
Oh, on a black and white screen when you're a 3-year-old kid, that is real life. Yeah.
Do you know what? There is something about black and white though that has a different edge to it, whether it be scary, comedy. Like, you know, I do like. Do you remember? This is going back for some people to remember it. The Artist, the film.
Yes. Oh yes, great film.
It was the most awkward film for me, and do you know why? Because the film starts and there is complete silence in a cinema full of people who are not used to being silent, and I wasn't the first, but there were some sniggers, there were some giggles because it was really awkward. Because I think the first 10 or so minutes or 15 might even be longer. There's silence. There is a bit of music, isn't there? But in the very beginning, for the opening kind of scene montage thing, it's complete silence. And it's almost like we're just not used to it. We've never seen that in a film for so long. It was really awkward.
I like that. I'm a big fan of silences. I love just long pauses.
It's very, which one is it? Not Brecht. Who liked the silences? Pinter. Pinter liked the silences, and Chekhov, I think, as well.
Yeah, I like, you know, you give the
Before
audience
every
an
jump,
emotion.
there is a lull.
Yeah.
Got to make people feel calm before you scare them, essentially.
And sometimes I like, you know, the scare and then the silence afterwards so you can just sit in it a little bit.
Now, I think one of the hardest things that's going to be in your play is I really like audience participation.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do you get that in a scary play? Like, so is there a way? We'll have to have a look and see if there's a way we can get some of the audience involved if they want to.
Yeah.
But it's also important that if they don't want to, the play can still work without audience participation.
We've been working on a few different systems. Obviously, not so much a volunteer based, but very much as we approach the audience with there's always the you can say no, we're not going to drag you off anyway. So it's the sort of finding out the right way
we could
to
use them
approach.
to help with some SFX, like making wind sounds. But if not, we've got our cue at the back that'll do it for us in the sound desk.
That is a really good
So
idea.
they could add to it, or maybe if they start it off, and if they don't, it's fine, and then the cue fades in and takes over, maybe.
Yeah. That is a really good idea. Thank you.
I think what I... You're welcome.
That's a lot easier than most of the ideas we came up with.
I think what I really, really want to achieve from this festival, and I don't know what you think as well, Craig, is I just want to show children the magic of theatre.
Yeah.
And the magic of simple theatre. You know, you can go and see an all singing, all dancing show, and they're amazing, but like, you can see theatre on a budget and it can be just as exciting, just as engaging in different ways.
Yeah.
And just kind of really sell that to them.
Yeah, encourage people to enjoy, you know, engaging in play a little bit longer as well, because I think they grow pretty fast now.
Yeah.
You know, I used to play with action figures and stuff until I was like 11.
You still play with them, don't
I probably still collect them. But
into Warhammer.
Yeah,
That's an expensive one.
yeah, it is, isn't it?
I've only got
The biggest mistake I ever made.
What does he spend his money on? Cameras and action figures.
They are figurines.
Please tell me you're going to make some...
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
they
you,
are
Luke.
figurines.
Please tell me you have a whole short film planned, stop motion, with these Warhammer characters.
They
when you
don't
painted
move.
them. You can
They're
like
rigid,
push
they
them
don't
along the
move.
floor. South Park, they don't move, they just wiggle
You
side to
could do a
side.
proper stop motion battle with the rulers coming in and the
then-
protractors to measure the angles.
So
of
as
the
I was
shots.
saying,
The only
it
thing
would be
I
a really good idea to get kids to carry on.
If
to
you
carry
do
on
it,
being
though,
kids.
Can you please promise, Craig, that you will dub every voice for every character, whatever the gender or creature it is?
I'll do them all.
All the voices,
Yeah, I'll do them all,
please.
yeah. Don't worry about it.
And as badly as possible.
So that's good. Oh,
Think Robot Chicken from Timu.
that's it now. When we launch our film festival later on, that's going to be my stop motion debut.
Yes.
Can you do like
Can
a
I
theme
help?
tune? Like,
Well, yeah, you can help, but you totally can't do any of the voices anymore. He's taken that away.
So everyone, we have kind of gone off topic. We are towards the end of the podcast, and I don't think you're any the wiser about our spooky tales, except that it is in rehearsal. And I think you can tell that all of us who are organising are absolutely bonkers. But we think that that's a real good asset because we have never grown up. Therefore, we're very childish, which I think is going to be very handy for kids' theatre. So we've not put you off coming to see it. You can get tickets from the Floral Pavilion website. You can also follow us. We're on YouTube, X, that's Twitter, isn't it really?
Yeah.
Instagram.
Follow the spiders.
Follow the spiders. YouTube. I don't know what that reference is, so I've lost that.
You don't know what the reference is.
Is it a Spider-Man
Doesn't
reference?
matter. Doesn't matter.
Spiders. Oh no, it's Harry Potter, isn't it?
Yes.
Aragog! Yeah, now I remember. I had to think for a second.
Almost didn't come back for the second year then.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. They were scary, those spiders, weren't they?
Yeah.
Imagine if they'd said that in Lord of the Rings. Follow the spider.
No, thanks. No, I'm good. I've seen those spiders.
Actually going to go home and stay alive. So you can get tickets on the website. If you want to follow us, www.worldtheatrefestival.co.uk. We just can't wait to see as many of you as possible. And please bring people along, spread the message. And that's all from me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.